About a year ago, something started happening in my lucid dreams that I still don't fully understand, and it's the closest I've ever come to believing the dream world is a real place. It started small. One night I had a lucid dream that ended in a specific spot, a field at the edge of a forest, and I woke up. Nothing unusual about that, but the next night when I got lucid, I wasn't somewhere random. I was standing in that exact same field, at the edge of that exact same forest, in the exact spot where the last dream ended. Like I'd paused a game and pressed continue. I told myself it was a coincidence, and then it happened again, and over the past year, my lucid dreams have slowly stopped being separate dreams and started becoming one continuous place that I return to, that remembers where I left off, and that has been changing while I'm gone. I need to tell you about this because I genuinely don't know what it is. Let me go back to that first field because I didn't think anything of it at the time. In a normal dream, even a lucid one, the setting is a fresh hallucination every night. Your brain builds a new stage from scratch, borrowing pieces of places you know, and when you wake up, it's gone. That's how it had worked for me for 9 years. Every lucid dream was its own disconnected world. So when I became lucid that second night and found myself standing in the same field with the same tree line, the same gray sky, my first thought wasn't wow, it was confusion, because I recognized it. Not the vague familiarity dreams sometimes have. I specifically remembered ending there the night before. I did my reality check to make sure I was actually dreaming and not just remembering. Looked at my hands, 6 fingers. Definitely a dream. So I did the only logical thing. I walked toward the forest, the direction I hadn't gone the night before, just to see what my brain would build. And the dream ended before I reached the trees, woke up, and the next night I was at the tree line where I'd stopped. By that point, I was paying very close attention because this is not how dreams are supposed to work. So I started keeping a much more detailed dream journal, and I started intentionally exploring this place a little more each night, treating it like a map I was slowly uncovering. And here's the first genuinely strange thing. The place was consistent. The forest had a specific layout. There was a path that curved left, a stream I had to cross at a specific point, a clearing with a single dead tree in the middle. And these details did not reset. Night after night, the stream was where the stream had been. The dead tree didn't move. I was building a memory of a place that, by every rule I understood, should not have persistent geography. By the way, if you've ever returned to the same location across multiple dreams, a house, a city, a school that isn't your real school but shows up again and again, tell me in the comments. This is apparently more common than people realize, and I want to know how far it goes for other people, because mine went somewhere I wasn't ready for. So over a few weeks, I mapped this world. The field, the forest, the stream, and beyond the forest, a road. And the road led to the edge of what I can only describe as a small town, empty, quiet. The kind of place that feels like it's waiting. And every lucid dream, I'd pick up roughly where I left off and push a little further into it. I want to be clear about how that feels because it's the strangest part. It does not feel like imagining, it feels like traveling. Like there's a place that exists whether I'm there or not, and each night I get dropped back into it to continue. Then came the part that changed this from a fascinating curiosity into something that genuinely unsettles me. The place started changing while I was away. The first time I noticed, it was the dead tree in the clearing. For weeks it had been bare, just gray dead branches, and one night I came back and it had leaves, small green leaves like it had come back to life in the time I'd been gone. Now, you could say my brain just rendered it differently that night, and maybe, but it kept going. The town, which had been completely empty, started having signs of someone. A door that had been closed was open. Then, weeks later, there were lights on in one of the houses that had always been dark. I never saw a person, but the place was behaving like somewhere that continues to exist and change when I'm not looking at it. A world with its own time running in parallel to mine that I only get to visit a few minutes a night. And then one night I got to the house with the lights on, and I stood outside it for the entire length of the dream because I could not make myself knock. Something about it, The certainty that there was someone inside, someone who had been doing things in this world while I was gone, lit the lights, opened the doors, that someone was home and that I was the visitor. I woke up before I touched the door, and the next night, for the first time in a year, the continuity broke. I didn't pick up at the house. I was back in the original field at the very beginning. Like the whole place had reset me to the entrance, like I'd gotten too close to something and it sent me back to start. So let me give you the two explanations because this one genuinely splits me down the middle more than anything I've covered. The rational version, and it's solid. There's a real phenomenon where dreamers develop persistent dream environments, recurring landscapes the brain reuses. The leading idea is that your brain, being efficient, builds a kind of reusable map, the same way a video game loads the same level from memory instead of generating it fresh. Once I started paying attention and journaling, I was reinforcing that map every night, strengthening the memory, which made it more stable and more detailed, which made it feel more real in a feedback loop. The changes, the leaves, the lights, those are my own subconscious adding to the map, over time processing whatever it's processing, using this place as the canvas. The reason I couldn't knock on the door is that some part of me wasn't ready to see what I'd put inside that house, and it reset me because I hit an emotional wall I built myself. I believe that. It explains the mechanics completely. What it doesn't explain is the feeling, and I know feelings aren't evidence, but I have spent 10 years inside my own dreams, and I know the difference between a place I'm generating and a place I'm visiting, the same way you know the difference between imagining a room and walking into one. This stopped feeling like generation a long time ago. There's an old idea, one that serious people have debated for a long time, that the dream world might be less like a movie your brain plays and more like a place your mind goes, and that some locations in it might be more persistent, more shared, more real than we're comfortable admitting. I'm not telling you I believe that. I'm telling you that after a year of returning to that town, watching it change without me, and standing outside a house where something was clearly home, I can no longer tell you with confidence that I don't. I still go back. The continuity returned after that reset slowly, and I'm at the edge of that town again, and I think this time I'm gonna knock. I don't know what's going to answer. Maybe it's just the deepest part of me wearing a face. Maybe it's nothing. But I'll tell you exactly what happens when I do. That's a video I'll make the moment it happens. Subscribe so you're there when I knock on that door. Close your eyes, stay awake,